The United States is full of beautiful towns. And then there are these. Real places, real names, where people didn't just move out, they escaped. Today, we're counting down the 3 creepiest towns in America.
Centralia, Pennsylvania is one of those places that proves reality doesn't need ghosts to be terrifying. This town isn't creepy because of legends or urban myths. It's creepy because it's still burning. And it has been, ground, and stayed there. Coal seams ignited beneath Centralia and began spread another 200 years. Today, fewer than 10 people still live here, not because they forgot to leave, because they refuse. They live surrounded by empty roads, missing houses, and warning signs telling visitors to stay away. Most of the town is gone, but the danger isn't. Carbon monoxide levels can spike without warning. Sinkholes still appear. The ground is warm in places, even in winter. Centralia doesn't look abandoned in the cinematic sense. It looks unfinished, like the apocalypse started here and got distracted halfway through. And then there's Route 61. Once a normal highway, it cracked and buckled from the heat below. Graffiti-covered, broken, and warped, it became known as Graffiti Highway. People traveled from all over just to walk on it, take pictures, and pretend this was a tourist attraction instead of a warning. Eventually, the state covered it with dirt to keep people out, because apparently humans need to be physically blocked from walking on burning ground. Centralia has inspired movies, video games, and horror stories. It's often linked to Silent Hill, although the town is arguably worse, because Centralia is real. There's no fog machine, no soundtrack, no monster reveal, just an invisible fire slowly poisoning the land. What makes Centralia unsettling isn't just the danger, it's the silence. No schools, no stores, no traffic, just the occasional plume of smoke rising from a crack in the earth, reminding you that this place is not dead, it's sick. And the scariest part, this didn't happen because of corruption, crime, or some ancient curse. It happened because of trash, coal, and a mistake no one could undo. Centralia is what happens to a town loses a fight with the ground it stands on. So if you're looking for peace and quiet, this place has plenty of it. Just don't expect the earth to stay quiet beneath you. Because in Centralia, Pennsylvania, the town isn't haunted, it's on fire.
Slab City, California is what happens when society shrugs and walks away. This is not a ghost town. This is not abandoned. People live here, by choice, by desperation, or because they ran out of places to go. Slab City sits in the Sonoran Desert on the remains of a former World War II military base. When the base was dismantled, all that was left were concrete slabs. No buildings, no infrastructure, no future plans. And somehow, that was enough for people to move in. There is no city government here, no police department, no fire department, no running water, no sewage system, no power grid. And that's not a temporary problem, that's the lifestyle. Residents call it the last free place in America, which sounds inspiring until you realize freedom here mostly means no one is coming to help you. Temperatures regularly exceed 110 degrees, shade is rare, water has to be brought in. Electricity comes from generators or solar panels that may or may not work. If something goes wrong, medically, mechanically, or mentally, you're on your own. Slab City attracts people who don't fit anywhere else. Some are artists, some are veterans, some are retirees who ran out of money. Others are fugitives from responsibility, addiction, or the law. And while not everyone here is dangerous, unpredictability is the baseline. This is a place where you don't ask questions because answers tend to make things worse. There are no addresses, no streetlights, no real roads, just dirt paths winding through improvised homes made of trailers, tents, school buses, and scrap metal held together by hope and duct tape. At night, Slab City changes. The desert gets quiet in a way that feels deliberate. Campfires flicker, music drifts from nowhere, and you quickly realize there's a difference between silence and being watched. Crime here is hard to track because reporting it requires authorities, and those don't exactly exist on site. Assaults, thefts, and disappearances have been reported over the years, but details are often vague, not because people don't know what happened, but because surviving here sometimes means keeping your mouth shut. There are rules in Slab City, just not written ones. Respect territory, don't touch what isn't yours, and mind your business, especially after dark. One of the most famous landmarks is Salvation Mountain, a massive, colorful art installation made of clay, paint, and religious messages. It's bright, cheerful, and deeply unsettling once you realize it rises out of one of the harshest, lawless environments in the country. It's hope painted on top of chaos. Slab City also has Slaughterhouse Canyon nearby, a name that does absolutely nothing to calm your nerves. The canyon and surrounding desert have long been associated with illegal dumping, suspicious activity, and people who prefer not to be found. And that's the key to understanding Slab City. This place isn't creepy because it looks scary, it's creepy because it operates outside the system entirely. No background checks, no safety inspections, no accountability. If you disappear here, it's not a headline, it's an assumption. Visitors sometimes come out of curiosity. They take photos, talk about freedom, and leave before nightfall, because Slab City during the day feels strange but manageable. At night, it feels like a test you didn't study for. And here's the part nobody romanticizing this place likes to mention. Living off-grid is empowering until something goes wrong, and something always goes wrong. Heat stroke, infections, violence, mental health crises, fires that spread because there's no fire department to stop them. In Slab City, consequences don't escalate, they arrive instantly. This is not an experiment in freedom, it's an experiment in how long people can survive without rules. And the answer varies. Some residents stay for years, others leave broken, some never leave at all, and no one is entirely sure when or how. Slab City isn't haunted by ghosts. It's haunted by the idea that civilization is optional. And once you see what that looks like up close, the idea becomes a lot less romantic. So yes, this is a real place. Yes, people really live here. And yes, it exists in the United States of America, which might be the most unsettling part of all. Kahaba, Alabama isn't the kind of place that scares you immediately. There are no warning signs, no smoke rising from the ground, no obvious danger. And that's exactly why it's the most unsettling town on this list. Kahaba was once supposed to be great. In fact, it was too important to fail. Founded in 1819, it became the first capital of Alabama. Politicians, judges, doctors, and wealthy families all settle here. This was meant to be the heart of a new state, organized, ambitious, and permanent. Instead, it became a lesson in what happens when history decides a place has overstayed its welcome. Kahaba was built at the confluence of two rivers, the Alabama and the Kahaba. On paper, that sounded strategic. In reality, it meant flooding, constant flooding. Streets turned into mud, homes filled with water, disease spread. Cemeteries flooded so often that coffins reportedly floated to the surface. Nothing says future capital like you're dead refusing to stay buried. Despite this, Kahaba survived long enough to witness one of the darkest chapters in American history, the Civil War. The town became home to Castle Morgan, a Confederate prison that held Union soldiers under brutal conditions. Overcrowding, starvation, disease, hundreds died here, far from home, with no dignity and no records. Those soldiers were buried nearby, some properly, many not. After the war, Kahaba never recovered. The capital moved, businesses left, families followed. By the early 1900s, the town was essentially abandoned. Nature reclaimed the land, swallowing buildings, roads, and history whole. But Kahaba didn't disappear. It lingered. Today, Kahaba is officially a ghost town, preserved as a historic site. Trees grow through foundations. Brick walls stand without roofs. The town feels frozen, like it's waiting for something it knows isn't coming. And then there's the cemetery. The old Kahaba Cemetery is where the town's reputation truly earns its place at number 1.
Visitors report seeing children's apparitions near the graves, footsteps with no source, voices whispering names, lights appearing at night, hovering near burial sites. Skeptical? Fair enough. But even without the ghost stories, the facts are disturbing enough. Many graves belong to children. Infant mortality here was high due to disease and flooding. Entire families wiped out within months. Soldiers buried without markers. Bodies displaced by water and reburied, sometimes more than once. This is a town built on instability, suffering, and unfinished business. And then there's the legend of the glowing orbs. Locals claim mysterious lights appear at night in the woods and cemetery. They don't flicker like flashlights. They don't move like cars. They float, they pause, and they disappear when approached. Science offers explanations: swamp gas, reflections, imagination fueled by darkness. But here's the thing: Kahaba doesn't need ghosts to be terrifying. Walk through the ruins and you'll notice how quiet it is. Not peaceful quiet, heavy quiet, the kind where sound feels out of place. Birds go silent, the air feels thick. You become very aware that this place remembers more than it shows. Kahaba feels like a town that failed and knows it. Unlike Centralia or Slab City, Kahaba didn't collapse because of fire, lawlessness, or modern neglect. It collapsed because of bad decisions, bad geography, and bad timing. It was ambitious, confident, and absolutely unprepared for reality. And reality didn't negotiate. What makes Kahaba the creepiest town in America isn't the paranormal stories. It's the realization that everything here happened slowly, predictably. Officials knew the land flooded. They knew disease was spreading. They knew people were dying. And they stayed anyway. Kahaba is proof that sometimes the scariest places aren't dangerous anymore. They're quiet reminders of human arrogance. So yes, people say it's haunted, but maybe what you're feeling there isn't fear of the dead. Maybe it's the weight of history standing exactly where it fell and never getting back up. Kahaba, Alabama isn't screaming. It's not burning. It's not lawless. It's just watching. And that might be worse.
So there you have it. 3 towns, 3 different kinds of horror, and none of them are fictional. None of them are Hollywood sets. None of them are haunted attractions. Centralia, Pennsylvania, a town literally burning from the inside out, where the ground beneath your feet could betray you at any moment. You don't need ghosts here. Fire is a much more honest kind of terror. Slab City, California, a desert where freedom and lawlessness meet in a chaotic embrace. People come here thinking they're escaping civilization, and in a way they are, until reality finds them anyway. Heat stroke, violence, isolation, it doesn't matter if you call it liberty, the desert doesn't care. And Kahaba, Alabama, the first capital that nature, neglect, and human error turned into a quiet graveyard of ambition. You walk through it and it doesn't scream, it just reminds you of everything that went wrong and everything that never got fixed. All 3 towns teach the same lesson. America isn't just about skyscrapers, shiny suburbs, or Instagram-worthy small towns. Sometimes the scariest places are the ones left behind, the ones people abandon, ignore, or simply fail to survive. And maybe that's what makes them terrifying. Not the fire, not the lawlessness, not the ghosts, but the fact that they're real, that people lived there, that you could theoretically go there and not come back the same. So if you're thinking of visiting, just remember, some towns are abandoned for a reason. Some places aren't meant for comfort, for exploration, or for curiosity. They're meant to remind us that not every American dream ends well. And if you're feeling brave, maybe you'll pack your bags, hop in the car, and go see one for yourself. But don't say I didn't warn you, because the most unsettling part isn't the towns, it's that you're probably thinking about them right now, and somewhere deep down, you kind of want to see them anyway. That's it for today. 3 towns, 3 nightmares, and a little reminder that America's map is filled with more than just friendly streets and fast food chains. Sometimes it's filled with fire, freedom gone wrong, and the quiet weight of history that refused to move on. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe, leave a comment with which town made your skin crawl the most, and I'll see you next week when we explore even more places that you definitely do not want to call home. Remember, some towns aren't just scary, they're unforgettable.